This is either going to be really, really good or really, really messy, and I don't think there's any chance of anything in between. I'm John Rentham with my predictions for New Japan Pro Wrestling's New Japan Cup 2022 tournament. Not 16, not 32, we went all the way up to 48. They probably wanted to go to 64, but based on some of the names in this 48-man field, boy, they went to 64, they might have got the goddamn ring announcer to be part of the tournament, and that certainly would have been interesting. Wouldn't have been good, but it would have been interesting. Let me know your predictions in the comments, please. And yeah, it's kind of interesting how they did this. So 48 men, and I was wondering how they're going to do this. They're going to give buys to maybe the champions and then just do it where they go from 12 to, they would go from 12 to 6 to 3. And I'm like, that's not how that's going to work. They're going to have to do some buys. And the buys are done totally at random, and it's just really, really strange. So I'd like to also say how I'm likely going to do these reviews for the entire tournament. The anniversary show, I'm probably not going to review, but I will watch because the history of it. I mean, 50 years of New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's a big goddamn deal. Through all the trials and tribulations, the ups and the downs, swinging on the goddamn pendulum to some of the really, really good and some of the, wow, they really thought that was a good idea. I mean, every wrestling company has that. I am going to review the New Japan Cup shows, but there may be the occasional individual review, but there may even be double and, triple reviews. Because it just comes down to time. I work full time, I got other projects I'm doing, and also I need sleep. So anyway, if you don't see the videos up right away, just wait a little bit. Don't worry, I'm working on them. This is a big goddamn deal, though, and I think there is a potential for a lot of really good in-ring action to take place. But some of this field, come on. I know that they're trying to get people ring time, and some of the matches could end up surprising me, and some of them could end up just being really goddamn bullshit because the House of fucking Torture is involved, and some members of Bullet Club, rather, that shouldn't be in the ring anymore. I think you can probably guess who I'm going to be talking about. But anyway, let's start off with what I'm calling the A bracket, basically this side, and then we're going to go to the B side. So we're going to go to the A bracket. That's, 24 men, and with a whole bunch of buys. So Okada and El Desperado are not going to be on the anniversary show facing each other like in years past because they're going to celebrate because it's a big, big milestone. So, IWGP World Heavyweight Champion against IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. El Desperado's been having a really, really good, last 15 months or so. I mean, he's been doing really good stuff since last year's Wrestle Kingdom. And, current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Okada. He's Okada, of course. He's fucking great. I mean, he is the true god of pro wrestling. Unlike what Don Callis says about Kenneth Omega, that's my opinion, I'm sticking to it, but Okada's going to win. Of course Okada's going to win. Now, if El Desperado won, don't get me wrong, that's going to bust everybody's goddamn bracket, but I think it's going to be a really, really good match, and I think El Desperado will shine even more, in defeat, maybe even, obviously if he won, it would be a big goddamn deal, but how far would he go in the tournament? Probably the next couple rounds. I think Okada going deep in the tournament makes sense. And Master Wato gets the bye, so he's going to face Okada. So we go to Yano and Taichi. I think Taichi's going to win. Why? A motivated Taichi is a dangerous Taichi, and honestly, Yano advancing in this tournament, watch him actually advance to the point where he gets to, the final 8 at least of this bracket. I mean, it'd be ridiculous. And I like Yano, don't get me wrong. I find Yano entertaining, but that stuff with Suzuki just didn't do it for me. And I think Taichi will face Tenzan in the next round because Tenzan gets a bye. Yuji Nagata versus Hiroki Goto. Goto's going to win. I mean, it'll be a good hard-hitting match. Nagata can still go even, in his early 50s. And it's not like Goto's a spring chicken, so to speak, but Goto getting, more of a chance to actually, shine for a little bit since he's really just in that spot where he's a really, really good worker. You can rely on him to have some great matches. But he doesn't have the dynamic personality. I think it's a bit unfair to Goto. He's just, unfortunately, in that time period where there's Okada, Tanahashi's still around. They got Sonata, who's cool, calm, collected, and also maybe needs to be a little bit more motivated. But he has been. That's why he's a current IWGP US champion. I like Goto, though, and I think Goto's going to beat Nagata. And he's going to face Dick Togo in the next round. Dick Togo got a first-round bye. It's pretty much right, or an indication right there that this tournament's a little bit fucking messy. That maybe they should have just stuck to 32. So, Shima of Strong Hearts. Shima, I mean, I just say Shima, but, really, really great guy, by the way. Got to meet him at an indie show about 3 years ago. Very nice. He's going to face off against Taka Michinoku, and I have him beating Taka. And it's still amazing to me that Taka Michinoku, I just recently watched WrestleMania 14, and watching him compete against the future S.A. Rios as Aguila, it's just great to see that Taka's still going. He obviously had to vary up his offense, but he can still go in the ring. But Shima's going to get the victory, and he's going to take on Kanemaru, who got a first round bye, and then Tanahashi takes on Yo. Tanahashi's going to win. I think that'll be a pretty good match, and facing off against Bad Luck Fale, who got a bye. Tetsuya Naito against Yujiro Takahashi. If Yujiro Takahashi beats Tetsuya Naito, even though Tetsuya Naito's knees, easy for me to goddamn say in any kind of bit of English language, grammatically correct, man, I really should have tried that again. Despite Naito's knees basically hanging on by a goddamn thread, and Banks is basically begging for thread. Boy, that was a weird reference. Naito's going to win because, come on, why would anybody want to see Yujiro advance in a tournament at this point? Or any point. But Gato's going to be in the... Gato gets a first round bye. Look, I know that they're trying to make it, oh, you gotta root for these guys to get beat and everything, and it's booking 101, it's all this, it's not good. It's not good at all. Makabe taking on Jeff Cobb. Gee, I wonder who you think I'm gonna have win. Jeff Cobb. Got the shirt from him from when he was at an indie show about 3.5 years ago. Nice guy. Massive in person, and I mean that with respect. Great talent. Jeff Cobb's going to win and take on Kojima in the next round. Spoiler alert, Cobb may be going far in my tournament. Honma taking on Yoshihashi. There is not a match on this planet besides Honma and Great Okan, which was one of the worst modern era New Japan matches that I've seen, that I want to see less than Yoshihashi versus Honma. Because Yoshihashi can work, he's just not interesting. Seriously, the staff that he carries to the ring is, less bland than him, and it's a fucking staff that can't talk or move. But Yoshihashi will win. And take on Fujita, who's going to be in the next round, because of a bye. So Okada takes on Master Wato. Okada will win. And Taichi will take on Tenzan. Taichi will win. Nothing against Tenzan, but the man has been competing for New Japan Pro Wrestling for a while. He's been competing so long he faced off against Randy fucking Savage on the Starrcade 95 card. No, really. Go back and look it up if you didn't know. That's when they were doing WCW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was the World Cup. 2 brands, 1 World Cup. Have fun on seeing that. So Okada and Taichi are going to face off. And we're going to get Goto and Shima. And I think that Shima's going to win. Because Goto's going to beat Dick Togo. Please beat Dick Togo. Shima's going to beat Kanemaru. Tanahashi's going to beat Fale, for the love of God, because Fale can't move. Naito's going to beat Gato. Sub 5 minutes, for the love of God. Jeff Cobb's going to beat Kojima. Yoshihashi's going to beat Fujita. So Okada's going to beat Taichi. Goto's going to lose to Shima. I think Shima's going to go to face Okada. Now, Goto versus Okada, chaos versus chaos would be fine. But hey, you want to bring Strong Hearts in? Why not bring him in? Why not give him a solid run? He'll be down to the final 8. He won't win, but it'll be a good showing. So Tanahashi will get beaten by Naito. Jeff Cobb will beat Yoshihashi, hopefully easily, because again, I don't really care for Yoshihashi. So Okada advances past Shima, and then Naito loses to Jeff Cobb, because Naito had beaten Jeff Cobb at at Wrestle Kingdom, and because of Cobb's knee, he's coming back. He's going to target Naito's knee, and Jeff Cobb's going to be in the finals. Now, sure, okay, you might say I'm playing favorites. It's my picks. That's what I'm going to fucking do. But I think him winning would be the right call. If he beats Okada, that's a big deal. He can get a rematch, because if he beats the champion, there you go. That's how these things work. That way, even if he doesn't win the tournament, then he gets a chance to face off against Okada sometime down the road, maybe at Dontaku in May. So we go to the B bracket, not B Blocka. Thank you very much, Bobby, for that. Kota Bushi versus Great Okan. Kota will advance. For the love of God, have Kota advance. Ishimori will face Kota because of a first round bye. Oiwa taking on Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. advances and faces off against Doki. Suzuki-gun versus Suzuki-gun. Doki gets a first round bye. Nakashima, new young line that I think I've maybe seen a little bit of. I can't recall too much that I've seen. Taking on Aaron Hanare. Hinari advances. Of course, Hinari advances. Sonata gets first round bye. That one makes sense as the IWGP US champion. That one sort of makes sense. So we get Bushy versus Will Osprey. Will Osprey is coming back to Japanese soil. Okay. I think the bloom's off the Osprey rose, and even regardless of how I feel personally about the guy, I think his peak year was 2019. Pandemic or no pandemic, I don't think 2020 was that great for him. I think that he can still do great work in the ring, but just as far as him trying to be a heel, he's not good on promos. He's not good on the mic at all. He's not. And he always seemed like he was better as the guy chasing the championship than he was the guy winning the championship. Because when they did it and he beat Kota, people were not very happy. And not very happy, not because he's a heel, he beat my hero and everything. It's like, this is the best you could do. This is how you're going to do it? Oh boy, that's a great idea. But Osprey will beat Bushi and face off against El Phantasmo, who gets first round bye. Tomohiro Ishii against Shingo Takagi. Well, provided that the venue is left standing after these two clobber each other and, hit each other with strikes like cannon fire, Shingo will win. And then they'll have to take a break to repair the goddamn walls that they tear and chew down because they're just beasts like that. So Shingo will take on Tangaloa in the next round because Tanga gets a first round bye. Chase Owens versus Jado. Okay, remember what I said about Yoshihashi versus Honma being a match that I have no desire to see? I will watch that 10 times over before I watch Chase Owens versus Jado. This isn't bad. I mean, Chase Owens is the human equivalent of NyQuil. He's not very interesting, but god damn it. Seriously, Chase Owens versus Jado, this is the best you can do? I mean, it's probably going to be like sub 5 minutes or filled with a bunch of bullshit shenanigans because Bullet Club, too sweet, will never fucking die, even though it is basically a dead, hollowed out husk. But Chase Owens will face off against Tiger Mask, who gets first round bye because he's Tiger Mask. I think Tiger Mask should just be able to advance because he's got to face Chase fucking Owens. If he doesn't fall asleep facing Chase fucking Owens, then good for him. Taguchi takes on Evil. Evil's going to win. Via shenanigans. Lots of shenanigans. Because that's all Evil can do now. Because Evil, even though he's a great wrestler, he's aggressively boring now. He takes on Tama Tonga in the next round. So we get Bullet Club and House of Torture and stuff like that and whatever. And hey, maybe the Bullet Club, House of Torture, maybe all these factions of Bullet Club, these versions of Bullet Club, will just explode in the dust. Just explode in the dust, that is. And we can get more, maybe the people to be more interesting. Because it can't be any less interesting than they are now. So, yeah, Evil's going to face off against Tama Tonga. Hiromu's going to take on Sho. I think Hiromu's going to win. And face off against Minoru Suzuki in the next round. Oh, dear. Kota Ibushi will beat Taiji Ishimori. Zack Sabre Jr. will beat Doki. Hinari will lose to Sonata. If Hinari wins, I'm all for it. I hope Hinari wins. I think Sonata's going to win here. Osprey is going to beat ELP. Shingo is going to beat Tangaloa. Chase is going to beat Tiger Mask because I am not allowed to have nice things. And Evil's going to beat Tama Tonga. Hey, if Tama Tonga wins, that'd be really cool. Have him go deep in the tournament. But Hiromu's going to lose to Minoru Suzuki. Because they got to do something to get the stink of that dog cage match off. Maybe, and hopefully not the stink of the dog cage. Hopefully nobody defecated in the dog cage. Because the dog cage match was already a defecation. Kota Ibushi will face Zack Sabre Jr. And Kota will lose. Zack Sabre Jr. is going to... He's going to go somewhat deep in this tournament. Somewhat. I wish he'd win the thing. I'd love to see Zack Sabre Jr. versus Jeff Cobb. I just don't think it's going to fucking happen. Sonata takes on Will Osprey. Osprey's going to win. Because Osprey ain't going to win this tournament. But Osprey being the U.S. champion and taking the U.S. championship, to New Japan Strong, doing this stuff and whatever, okay. I think they might do something like that. Sonata will probably not have a very long run. Shingo will face Chase. If Shingo takes longer than 5 minutes to beat Chase Owens, it's fucking ridiculous. It's not that Chase can't wrestle, because a lot of people can wrestle. That doesn't mean that they should be competitive. Evil takes on Minoru Suzuki. Evil wins, because why the hell not? I don't fucking care. Zack Sabre Jr. loses to Will Osprey, because I'm not allowed to have nice things. And Shingo will beat Evil. Please beat Evil. For the love of God, beat Evil. I have Shingo then beating Will Osprey. I hope. Maybe. Kinda. Sorta. And then I have Jeff Cobb beating Shingo. Because Shingo won't quite get back to that pinnacle just yet, but he will get close by getting into the finals. Maybe they can recapture the magic that they had, at Wrestle Kingdom last year, which was fucking the never Openweight Championship match. Still one of my favorite matches of last year. My fucking goodness. It was hard hitting, ridiculous. Of all the shit they did, it was amazing. They stole the goddamn show as far as I'm concerned. Even though both main events were quite good. Kota beating Naito was a whole lot better. Was it Kota beating Naito? There's so much wrestling. So much wrestling popping into my head. The whole point is, there's a lot of potential for this card to be really, really good. But those are my New Japan Cup 2022 predictions. A lot to talk about during this because a 48-man field. That's a lot to go through. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.